Hey everyone, as I did with Phases 1, 2, and 3, welcome to my What to Expect in Phase 4 video of WoW Classic. Now, I realize that the original format of the phases has changed, and we aren't so much strictly abiding by phases at this point in the game, but according to what's being released this week, we are technically about to enter Phase 4. So let's cover what was originally releasing in Phase 4. In terms of PvP, we had Arathi Basin set to appear in Phase 4, and then moving on to more PvE-focused events, we have Zul'Gurub, Stranglethorn Fishing Extravaganza, which could also be PvP, I guess, if you think about it. The Dragons of Nightmare could also be PvP, and the Stirring of Silithid. Alright, maybe they could all be PvP events. Whatever. Anyway, as we're all aware, Arathi Basin was released early to the surprise of no one. It was actually released a month ago. And if we're still using phase terms, it would have been between phases 3 and 4. And in my opinion, it had pretty good timing because it added a refreshing new battleground option for those who are sick of Alterac Valley and Warsong Gulch. And with the release of AB, shortly after, arrived Battleground Holiday Weekends, where you could have the opportunity to gain bonus, reputation, and honor for queuing for that specific battleground. So what happened in between phases 3 and 4? Some people received a survey sent by Blizzard asking what their preferences were to be if they were to release classic TBC servers. Basically asking if they'd like to copy a character over, have a fresh start, etc, etc. This raised many eyebrows in the community, and for some, unofficially confirmed in their eyes that TBC is coming next. I always had a good feeling about that, seeing the success of Classic, but you can't ever say something with 100% certainty until it's actually confirmed. My guess was that they were going to announce it during BlizzCon 2020, but now, since they may not have a BlizzCon 2020, we'll see what happens. While I am optimistic about TBC happening, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I really love TBC, but when the time comes, I will create a video on my thoughts about that. Among other Classic news, Blizzard has reopened free character transfers from high population servers. As you are probably aware, queue times are back and with a vengeance. Some of the higher pop realms have seen queue times of up to 4 hours on raid nights. It's been insane, so free transfers have been an option once again. Some people are upset about this, that it's the only solution available, but what else could be done? We're in the middle of a global pandemic and everyone is staying indoors. Of course, more people will be gaming. Blizzard requested feedback, actually the other day, as to whether or not they should bring back layering. My opinion on that? It might temporarily solve queue times, but I don't believe that the queue times are going to last anyway. It's a result of what's going on in the outside world. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on lockdown, but as soon as that slowly begins to lift, I think the queues will once again subside. Therefore, I don't think we need to take any drastic measures to try to solve it. Sure, it sucks, but it is part of the game, so either get a remote desktop and log in ahead of time, or deal with it. What's my opinion on layering? I think it could mess up some server economies, world PvP, world bosses, etc., as it did in the past, but could it help with the queue times? Sure. Would I be angry if they implemented it? No, but only if it was temporary. I don't know how layering works entirely, if it's a switch that they could just simply turn on and off, or if it's a bit more complex than that. My big concern would be for the world bosses that are coming out this week. So do we grin and bear it for another few weeks and deal with the queues, or do they add in layering to temporarily solve the wait time? Are they only able to layer certain zones? Perhaps they could restrict certain zones to one layer, such as where the world bosses spawn? I don't know. What do you guys think? I know layering is a huge point of contention, and I'm sure we'll get some nice, passionate comments regarding that. That being said, let's move on to ZG. Similar to BWL, Zul'Gurub will have a simultaneous world launch on April 15th at 3 p.m. Pacific time with a 72-hour reset time. You ready to grind that Zandalari reputation? So many awesome recipes and rewards and new items will be available with ZG. I'm not going to spend too much time going over ZG because there are plenty of guides out there. I even wrote a Zul'Gurub overview and Zul'Gurub loot guide on WOWHEAD.com, which I left the links for below, so feel free to check out. I'm always open to feedback on my work. Here's the official wording on ZG by Blizzard. Hidden in the jungles of Stranglethorn, an ancient troll city full of peril has been uncovered. Do you have what it takes to delve into its mysteries with a band of hardy explorers? There's only one way to find out. Zul'Gurub is a high-level, 20-man raid instance with 120 new rare and epic items to uncover. Adventure awaits. Moving on, I remember when Classic first dropped, a lot of people asked me when the Stranglethorn Fishing Extravaganza was starting, and I had no idea. I tried researching it, and it was hard to find the official word back then in August. But alas, looks like it's finally here with the release of Zul'Gurub. The event runs every Sunday, and all you need to enter is a fishing pole and a skill of 150 fishing or higher. You must also fish on coastal or inland waters of STV. A zone-wide shout from Wriggle Bassbait will signal that the tournament has begun, and special pools of tasty fish will appear. The first player to catch 40 speckled tasty fish and turn them into Wriggle wins. There's a bunch of cool prizes and rewards, and once again, I will link a WOWHEAD guide for y'all to check out to see what you can get. But I will say this, good luck if you're on a PvP server. And here's Blizzard's description of the event. The Stranglethorn Fishing Extravaganza is a grand new event, set along the coasts of Stranglethorn Vale. Early on the appointed day, friendly neighborhood goblins will visit Ironforge and Orgrimmar to inform aspiring anglers of the grand tournament and give instructions. At the appropriate time, the shout will ring out across Stranglethorn to bait your hooks and cast your lines. Dragons of Nightmare are next. We briefly mentioned world bosses, but now 4 more world bosses are entering the mix. And these 4 dragons not only spawn at the same time, but in all different locations. Duskwood, the Hinterlands, Faralis, Ashenvale are all spawn points, but which dragon spawns where is random. Something is amiss in the Emerald Dream. Immense dragons with the shimmering emerald scales of the green dragonflight have been sighted guarding the portals at the Great Trees. These once noble creatures crawl with a new, strange menace, not the peace for which Ysera is known. Bring many allies should you dare to confront them. Their powers are formidable, and they will not hesitate to crush any who draw near. I also wrote a WOWHEAD guide on the Dragons of Nightmare, with the link in the description below, so feel free to check that out as well and leave me any feedback. I had very little experience with these dragons back in vanilla. I feel like any faint memory I have of attempting to kill one with a raid group ended in a miserable failure. So I highly recommend familiarizing yourself with the strategy of each dragon so you can enter the fight prepared. There's some pretty cool drops from these guys, some pieces with high nature resist, which is great to prepare you for future dragon fights, as well as AQ on the horizon. And speaking of AQ, the final tidbit covered in this video, the stirring of the Silithid. The arid sands of Silithis are shifting. Something is awakening beyond the wall to the south. Aid the druids of the Cenarian Circle as they delve into the mysteries of the desert. Seek answers behind the Twilight Hammer's presence. Discover more about the alien creatures known as the Silithid as you explore their hives. Many new endeavors await the high-level adventurer. And so, the beginning phases of the AQ event have begun. Make sure you have those flight paths in Silithis, because things are going to get a lot more interesting out there, other than mages just farming elementals and rogues stealthing into those hives for rich thorium veins. So, be sure to stop by Cenarian Hold and see what's going on as the sands begin to stir. And with that, I shall conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and check all the social links below. If you'd like to see some specific classic content, feel free to leave me a comment about that. I'm always open to new ideas and suggestions for future videos. As always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more classic WoW content. Thank you so much to our Patreon supporters for encouraging us to keep up with this content as well. And there are other social links below in the description of this video. I hope you're all being safe out there, and have a great day.